Okay, so 3D tracking. All right, so what 3D tracking is figuring out where the camera was when you shot a bunch of video, and so then backwards engineering that movement so that when you put your 3D object into the scene and the camera moves, it stays still with the things that are still in the image. Okay, so it's a little tricky, but it's not that hard. You know, it's yeah. Okay, so if we just look here at, so this is looking through the camera. Get that up so you can see it. And so now scrub through a bit, and it's not really updating the video in this panel for some reason. Anyhow, so as you see, the wing is moving, okay, where even though it's not animated, okay, so because the camera's moving. All right, so the point is to lock the items together so I can get my cat sitting on the wing of an airplane. Why? Because I got some video footage of my cat in the wing, in the wind, and that's all I could figure out what to do with it. You know, and it's fairly simple. Okay, so looking over here at the motion capture software. Let's get my out of the way. And all right, so what we're going to do is we're going to track several spots. And I guess actually let's do new and no. Okay, so all right, load sequence. And here we go. Okay. Okay, so at the bottom, which I'm trying to show you, is the okay, I can move that much of the window. Why can I not move? There we go. All right. So way down here is where I can move into the footage. Okay, so there we got the cat moving along. And as you see, the camera is doing a little bit of a motion because I'm hand holding it and it's windy, right? So I want to grab that part of the footage or that information. Okay, so we got two options here. We got automatic tracking, which is fantastic, and then we also have manual tracking for those harder cases, okay, the 3D tracking. All right, so if I'm going to auto track it, oh, okay, so this is where I move through, this is where our point track is going to be, and where our cameras and our constraints all live down here, and I get readouts on that. Okay. Righto, fairly simple. Now, if I'm going to use the automatic tracker on this, what I'm going to want to do is say, hey, you know what, don't track the cat, right? Because I don't want the cat's movement to affect the 3D tracking. Okay, so I need to make a contour. So we look up here, it says new contour, and let's see, make sure I am on frame 1. Okay, and all right, so I'll just start up here, and then I loosely just build a little mask, just like in After Effects. Bank, 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 bank. Sound effects are optional. Okay, so there I have this mask out of the cat, and so I will go forward in time a little bit and make some adjustments. Okay, and let's see. Okay, good. And so as you see, it's starting to fill in. So yeah, I just sort of want to step through, and you know, I'm pretty happy with that. So just wiggle it a little bit, and okay, make sure we keep that ear in there. Hopefully those whiskers aren't going to cause us any problems. Okay. Da-da. Yes. All right, that seems to be working. And it's pretty good. Sort of watching the tail at the moment as we go through here. Zip, zip. Come on. There we go. And all right. Zip. Okay, and we're down a little bit. And oh wow, Shirley has her ears tucked in. Now there's the ear popping up. Tail is coming up a little bit. And moving along. Okay, and we're in pretty good shape. Yeah, there's so she'd had enough performing for the morning. Da -da, da -da -da. Okay. All right, so that should pretty much do it for my mask, right? So, yeah. And yeah, I can probably get away with that. Okay, so now it's not going to track those points. Fantastic. All right, and so, you know, now if I'd master out in After Effects, I can bring that in as my contour, and I think I can also send this over to After Effects as well. Anyhow, so then, you know, if you're happy with that, then you just do automatic tracking and you hit run and go dig around in the fridge. Okay, now it's solving for the camera. Okay. And so there I get my track, and what I'd want to do is put in a coordinate system at this point, and so that I would go through and I'd name these guys, but I'll show you that in the manual track in just a moment. But so that step needs to be done. But yeah, once you get that done, it's very easy, and you just do your export over here, and there you have your export map, right? So I can export this, and I say, hey, give me a Maya file. But as you see, it has a whole bunch of other fun stuff. And wow, didn't realize Shake was still in business. Okay, so ooh, it gives me an FBX. Fun. So that's fantastic. All righty. Okay, so cancel that, and I'm going to throw that away. And now, of course, there's always going to be problem solving, and you know, the fact I've tracked this several times now is the exception. I mean, usually you track something once, you get it good, you move on. All right, so I've just reloaded the footage back in. Now I'm going to do a manual track of the whole thing. So I'm going to grab this little icon up here, okay, and I'm just going to track that corner. So I'm looking for these high contrast corners. Over here, I'm going to rename this left roof. Okay, so I'm going to do that off screen, but just so you know, that's where I'm doing it. So obviously, I will do right roof over here. All right. Roof Okay. And so when you so I can select them down here. So you're going to see what these guys do a bit more now. All right, so like there's my left one, there's my right one. I can change my selection, and I can track this guy going forward. And as you see, it's gone through and it's all green, so it's happy. Yeah, that's a good point to track. Now I'll do the other guy. Fantastic. Okay, so now what would happen if it's not a great track? Let's go over here, and here's the slide in the next door neighbor's yard. And that, that's looking good. That's high contrast, right? So slide. Okay, so it's a high contrast shape, but as you see, it fails at a certain point, and if we slide through, we can see why, because her tail hits that and screws up the track. Okay, it hits it again there, and okay, so, and it's pretty bad the rest of the way through. Okay, now if it wasn't bad the rest of the way through, what I could do is at this point, I could manipulate that and put that back on, and I can track in the other. I can track backwards or out from this point. So as you see, now it's gone out from either point, but so that's not going to be a great set of data there for me. So I want to find better things in the scene, and plenty of good stuff in this particular scene. So so this is actually very good and easy for me to track. So let's see, this would be a chimney. All right, so you want to track things that are nice and high contrast, that don't change shape let's move back in time. Do not change shape over the duration of the project, right, of the shot. Okay, and hopefully that are visible the whole time. If you can know the distance between them, that's also really useful. Okay, as we'll see in a few minutes. So but that's a great thing to track there, because it's nice and stable. Also, let's see, window. Also, you want to pick things at various depths from the camera. So, one thing I can track is there's a spot up here, maybe this corner there, maybe something down in here. So you want things at various depths away from the camera so that it can, the computer can triangulate better and figure out what's this world that it's looking into, because it knows nothing. All right, so let's track that guy. Zip, zip, zip. And, yep. All right, so I need 7 of them minimum. More is obviously better. So do the garage bottom here. All right. Okay, good. And so that guy is good to go. And I'll do one way over here. A little off camera for you, but let's see, roof. Okay. Track that guy forward. And that gives me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so, I forgot my door. So my door is nice because I know it's about 2 meters. So this is one of my favorite things to track because I got this nice corner right here. So I'll call that door top. And we'll also do the door bottom. Nice corner there. And door bottom. And get both of these guys going. All right. So the other reason I like these two guys is because I know they're vertical. So I can tell the computer, hey, this is the y-axis, that is the x-axis. So that's really super duper helpful. And I know these guys are 90 degrees from each other. At least I hope they are. Okay, so that should give me my minimum. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so I'm at 8, not counting the slide that we're not happy with. All right, so fantastic. So the next thing I will do is I will do a solve for camera. And so it chunks through, tracks all these guys, and it thinks it has it figured out. And I'm going to do a new coordinate system. Okay, so I do the coordinate system. So let's pop over to here. And so the coordinate system, the distance, I've looked it up in the manual, doesn't really say anything. So I've tried it, setting it to a value of 2, figuring that's the height of the door. I get it over into Maya, and the door is it's 2 centimeters. So this is, I guess, going to be centimeters. All right. So if I say this origin distance, let's say distance, I am going to say 300 centimeters, and I'm going to have that from the left roof to the right roof. Okay, so like that. The origin, I'll put that at the garage bottom over there. Okay, so that gives me that scale. All right, so the X is going to be through 2 points, and that's going to be the left roof to the right roof. All right, and the y-axis I'm going to also do from 2 points, and I'm going to have that the door bottom, and then I'm going to do the door top. So I put the top, and the first one on the bottom. So I tried it that way. I get it into Maya, and the whole world's upside down. Okay, so apply that, and that should do it. Solve for camera. Okay, so now we just do our export, and we do 8. Yay! And we pop over to Maya. Okay, so we're going to have a few little issues here, but don't save. Open scene, open scene. That's just track 8. Zip, zip, zip. Okay, so there I have it, and it's pretty darn big at that scale. Okay, so there's my oops, that's one of the tracker points. Okay, and let's just get something out there so we can see this thing moving. Pick something, Steve. Okay. So we can see this guy, and we'll just change the radius there, and there we go. And just put a, yeah, what the heck. That should be enough. All right, so I will go to panels, go, hey, give me that camera, and voila. So there I have this guy, and as you see, the camera's moving and all of that. Getting the images in the back is a major pain in the neck. Okay, so why is that? Because Maya likes to bring in images with the name of the file .tga .tga.number. Okay, so I've had to make a separate set of these files, okay, with the .tga, then the number, and I keep trying to erase those, and I'm not having much luck. But so there, that loads that in, and so, oops, and we got to make sure that, let's see, use sequence. Okay, so now hopefully that will do it, and it's still not updating. but that is a definite issue. It could just be because, let's see, I'm on frame, let's go to frame 500. And, all right. No, it is not updating, but that is a different problem. Yep. So it's probably the capture software screwing up the graphics card. So, but anyhow, hope that helps. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. But once again, try to have the measurements of something and have something in your scene that you know is 90 degrees. You get a nice right angle in there that's big that you can then track and tell it, hey, this is Y, that is X, and it has a measurement of 3 meters, 4 meters, whatever, and you'll get happy results.